Welcome, curious minds of the world. Today I'm taking you on a journey through the fantastic, fascinating, and completely incomprehensible world of quantum physics. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about time, space, and why we still don't have a DeLorean parked in the garage. Get ready to have your mind blown with an experiment that not only challenges the laws of physics, but also the limits of your patience. So sit back, grab a coffee, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more mind-boggling curiosities that will make you ask, will these experiments ever lead us anywhere? So picture this. You're sitting comfortably on the couch, switching channels with the remote when you stumble upon a documentary about quantum physics. Your first reaction? Oh no, not this incomprehensible stuff again. But hold on a second. There's a tiny detail that might keep you hooked. Scientists are trying to send something back in time. Now we're talking, right? Finally, we might see if our old VHS tapes of our favorite cartoons can come back to life. Oh wait, it's not that simple. Let's start with an idea. We all turn lights on and off mechanically without giving it much thought. A daily gesture, right? But what would happen if one day, flipping that switch made you wake up in the middle of the Renaissance? Surprise! Welcome to 1492. Sadly, no, it doesn't happen that way. But to fuel our dreams a little, quantum physics steps in and makes us believe that, at least theoretically, it could happen. Yep, because in this weird and crazy universe, the rules are all upside down. But here's the real kicker. In 2022, a team of scientists, armed to the teeth with brains and quantum computers, decided to try the first time travel experiment. We're not talking about guys in long white lab coats and thick glasses trying to send you back to Cleopatra's time, but a tiny electron. Yep, you heard me, an electron. You know, that invisible particle that moves around in electrical circuits and that no one really cares about? Well, this little electron became the star of a story straight out of a sci-fi movie. The scientists, being the maniacs of precision they are, played with a quantum computer and managed to send this electron back in time. Yep, they actually made it travel to the past. But before you get too excited and start making a list of eras you'd like to visit, maybe to dodge that dreadful university exam, know this, the experiment lasted for a fraction of a second. Yep, a measly, microscopic second. Not quite the temporal vacation you had in mind, huh? But here's the kicker. How long would it take to replicate this fantastic time travel? According to the scientists' calculations, we would need to observe 10 billion electrons every single second for the entire duration of the universe. Yes, you read that right, the entire age of the universe, to see something similar happen just once. Forget about time travel vacations. This isn't something we'll be booking through a travel agency anytime soon. The fun doesn't end here. You see, with quantum computers, things aren't as simple as they seem. The more qubits we add, yes, those famous quantum bits that can exist in multiple states at the same time, a bit like us, managing to be on Netflix, on the couch, and at work all at the same time, the more complicated things get. In fact, the more qubits you use, the more errors occur. Even with 3 qubits, the success rate drops to 50%. What does that mean? That we could end up time traveling only halfway, with one foot in the past and the other in the present. Convenient, right? Let's move on, because the story gets even stranger. Yes, it can get stranger. Have you ever thought that light could travel through time? Neither did I. But in 2016, someone decided to give it a go. And guess what? They succeeded. You know that little detail Newton discovered with his prism, that white light is actually a mix of colors? Well, it turns out light has even more tricks up its sleeve. Not only does it travel at a breakneck speed, but it can even be manipulated to move forward and backward in time, just like a scene in a movie that we can replay over and over. Pretty cool, huh? Here's how it works. Our brilliant scientist friends took a photon, a particle of light, and sent it through a special crystal, making it travel in both directions, toward the future and the past, simultaneously. You following me? Probably not, but don't worry, neither am I. It's one of those things you just accept, because let's face it, if you can make light travel through time, you've got to be some sort of genius. Now, before you get too carried away, let's remember that this magic only works with tiny particles like photons. If you thought you could use it to reverse the damage to your recently broken phone, sorry to disappoint, but you'll have to settle for some duct tape. Oh, and remember the good old dream of a time machine? Well, we're still waiting. For now, we'll settle for changing the speed of light and sending it backward for a few milliseconds. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll really be able to manipulate time like in the movies. Back to the future. Get ready, we're on our way, though with a slight delay. And let's not forget the other incredible discovery, stopping light. Like as if it weren't crazy enough that we're trying to reverse time, someone decided to take light, the very thing that brightens our lives and shows us just how tired we are on Monday mornings, and stop it. Yes, that's right, stopping light. Scientists literally put the fastest thing in the universe on pause, like it was a Netflix show. They trapped photons in an ultra-cold cloud, freezing them for a moment. I know it sounds like wizardry, but no, it's just science. Imagine Newton's face if he knew this while he was playing with his prisms. He would have jumped into the action without a second thought. But of course, he didn't stop there. No. Our dear scientists decided that stopping light was just the first step. After all, why not try to send it back? And so they took their fancy scientific wand and started making light travel through time. But not too far, mind you, just a little jump back and forth. If you were hoping to use this technology to avoid some embarrassing situations, well, you'll have to wait a bit longer. But who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to send it back far enough to erase that terrible selfie from a few years ago. That would be some progress, wouldn't it? And while we're at it, let's talk about other futuristic applications of these discoveries. Ever heard of invisibility cloaks? I'm not joking. Harry Potter would be jealous to know that a Canadian company is working on a real invisibility cloak. No magic needed. This technology uses special lenses that bend light to make objects disappear, or almost. Okay, it's not quite like in the movies. If you hide behind this cloak, you'll look more like a blurry figure, like a smudge on a window. But hey, it's a start. Imagine all the possibilities of an invisibility cloak. Hiding buildings, vehicles, or maybe using it to avoid those boring family dinners. Not that I recommend it, of course. For now, it's just a prototype, but it's an idea that could revolutionize how we see, or rather, don't see the world. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll all be walking around invisible, avoiding awkward encounters on the street. After all, it's what we've always dreamed of, right? But don't think the applications stop there. Beyond building time machines and invisibility cloaks, physicists are also exploring how light can help improve our space technology. In fact, some scientists are trying to build solar sails that use light pressure to propel spaceships at unimaginable speeds. Yep, you heard that right. Spaceships that don't need fuel, but instead use the light from stars to accelerate. Kind of like surfing on sunbeams. If they managed to perfect this technology, we could travel to Alpha Centauri, the closest star system, in just 20 years. Not bad, right? Of course, before we all pack our bags for an interstellar adventure, there are still a few practical issues to work out. For example, what happens if our solar wind dies down? Do we bring along a giant flashlight to push us forward? But aside from these details, the road is open, and the future seems closer than ever. Who knows? Maybe in a few years we'll be planning weekend getaways on another planet. And so, dear friends, we've come to the end of this wild ride through time, space, and quantum physics. We're still far from building a time machine worthy of Hollywood, but who knows? With scientists playing around with light and electrons, the future looks weirder, but in a fascinating way. Before we say goodbye, here's a question for you. If you could travel back in time, even just for a second, where would you go? Leave your answers in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you think. And of course, if you want to keep discovering the world's craziest curiosities, don't forget to subscribe to explore and discover Curious World and hit the notification bell. The future still holds plenty of surprises for us.